You are about to participate in a great adventure.
Hit in the air to deep right center.
Pike open on the low side. Greg Pike, believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. Mad friends with Benzes and C notes by the layers. I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Hit is high.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is far. It is gone.
You're listening to the Tom and Jerry Show. Welcome back to another episode of the Tom and Jerry Show. Today's December 5th, our 6th show. Quick thanks to everyone that listens every week and who liked our new Facebook page and follows on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to get into a few of the baseball moves that recently happened. A team changing their team name to the Pelicans in the NBA. We'll tell you who that is. And, of course, the recap of Week 13. Some other football news, including who we think is, what we think the best division is and who will win the Rookie of the Year. So, first we'll get into the recap of Week 13. Big game Monday night.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Giants at Washington. Big playoff implications.
Yeah, because if the Giants won, that really would have made some separation in that division for them.
Yeah, the Giants were going in 7-4. Washington was going in 5-6. Before that, Cowboys beat the Eagles 38-33 to put the Cowboys at 6-6 and the Eagles at a very bad 3-8. Or was it 3-8, 3-9?
Yeah, 3-9.
So this game was pretty big because now the NFC East is starting to close
Yeah,
up.
it's getting
very close.
3 teams within one game.
Yeah. Washington ended up taking it 17-16. What'd you think about the game?
I think RG is going to be a lot of problems for the Giants in the future because we all know the Giants have the pass rush with the D-line, but RG3 can beat that with his feet.
Yeah, he showed it in that game.
Exactly.
There was so many times that OC or, JPP could have had him, and he just used his wheels and
the
got
Giants
around
they're weak beyond that front four of the defense. And RG3 exposes that because once he beats the D-line, I mean, it's unfair what he can do.
My thing with RG3 is it's not just his legs that you have to worry about.
No, he's
got
throw.
a strong arm.
It's
and
accurate.
He's very accurate.
Yeah.
Beginning of the game, he was a little off, I noticed. But he ended up, pulling it together. Eli actually had a good game. But towards the end of the game was a little weird with the running. You're down by 1 and you're running it.
Yeah, they ran 2 straight plays late in the game.
That dropped them back.
Yeah.
And then
it's very odd from that offense too. Late in the game, they always rely on Eli, and they ran away from that for some reason.
That's what I'm saying. You're coming into the end of the game now. Everybody says, how elite Eli is,
best fourth quarter quarterback in the league.
But the Giants couldn't pull it off. They lose to Washington 17-16. That puts them at 7-5 and Washington at 6-6. Now Dallas is 6-6 and Washington is 6-6. The Giants have a tough schedule coming up.
Yeah, they do.
They got the Saints this week coming up. Then they still have Baltimore. They still have Atlanta. So 3 of those 4 games. You got the Eagles the last game.
You never know who will show up in that game.
Yeah, that should be a win. If they lose that game, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Yeah. But it's going to be, the Cowboys have the Bengals next.
That's a tough game.
And Washington has Baltimore. So, all 3 teams have tough schedules coming up. To tell you the truth, right now I think the Giants still pull it off. I think the Giants get into the playoffs. And I think only one team gets out of this division. I think only one team gets into it because of, the way Seattle is playing. Seattle beats Chicago 23-17.
If they save some of the divisional games with between these 3 teams for later on they usually do, but all 3 of these teams already played their games against each other, I believe. So
Well, Cowboys have Washington last game of the season.
Oh, okay, so that's that. But nothing against the Giants, which really doesn't help either of the teams. But I don't know. I think The Redskins are probably the hottest team in that division right now.
Yeah.
Out of those 3 teams. So
well, the thing with Dallas got DeMarco Murray back.
that was big.
Which was really big.
He had a big game.
He had technically he should have had 95 yards on the towards the last play of the game. He lost 10 yards just to let the clock go. But he was a very big factor in that game. Des Bryant still continuing his hot streak.
Yeah, very hot streak.
So, he's finally showing, what he's made
Romo
of.
needs that run game.
Exactly.
Because it's simple to say that it obviously sets up the play action and everything, but it really that's exactly what it does. It just makes everything so much easier for the quarterback.
Seattle, like I said, Seattle beat Chicago 23-17, which is big because now it puts Seattle at 7-5. That take the last, they right now they got the last wild card spot.
But they're getting close to even that fifth seed now. This
also knocked the Bears out of first place in the division. Now the Packers take that, and so now they go from the second seed to the 5th.
Yeah.
So that it was a big game. Chicago needed to win that. With Washington and the Cowboys, they needed Chicago to win that game, and Russell Wilson took them down, scored in overtime. Yeah. I really now I'm looking back at it, that game with Seattle and the Packers is going to loom large.
That's true.
With everybody now, because now that one game could knock out Washington, could knock out the Cowboys, could knock out any of these teams. Tampa Bay 6-6, Vikings 6-6, the Rams 5-6-1. You never know what. And
then the Seahawks have a lot of home games coming up too, which they obviously they never lose.
Out of their next 5 games, they got four home games, and they never lose at home. And it's not against any really good team that can beat them at home.
Besides the Niners, they have a Niners game, but just thinking about it, they now have the advantage on both NFC North teams because they beat them.
Oh yeah,
but I think the Packers are going to win the NFC North. Because I just don't trust the Bears. I don't trust their offensive line.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to fall apart towards the end of the year.
Well, now with Urlacher, they say Urlacher might miss the rest
3 weeks.
They said 3 weeks, and then other reports saying that he can miss the whole season.
Yeah, and you can't replace a guy like that.
That's big,
So if the Bears keep losing, that's going to open up another wild card spot for possibly the 2 of the NFC East teams.
Yeah. Go into, I think, probably the best game of the week. Obviously, the Colts in Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's up 2 touchdowns in that game. And Andrew Luck just miraculously comes back with 2 minutes left, scores that touchdown, with no time left. And, got them the win. And it's showing that this whole, Chuck Pagano thing is really pushing them to play,
This is also something on our last show we talked about the Lions and their problems.
Well,
and
the
this
Lions
is exactly what this was.
And the thing was, what we spoke about the Lions was how you have the best wide receiver in the league, but Stafford can't find him the ball. This game, he found him. He had 125 yards and a touchdown. So if you can't win. If you can't win with
this
Calvin
is exactly
Johnson
the Lions' problem though, because the offense finally showed up. Calvin got the ball,
the defense
and now the defense, which is normally good this year, blew the game.
Yep.
The last play of the game, everyone's giving Luck credit, but anyone could have made that pass with how bad that defense was.
And then another incident with Ndamukong Suh. He gave a guy a concussion, and then a few of them with Suh, dancing on top of him, whatever. Colts weren't too happy about that, but just another incident with him.
They got to take control of this.
Yes, he has the talent. Yes, he's probably one of the best top 5, maybe defensive tackles in the league. But yet he's still,
But everything triumphs over that now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the first time. It's not the second time, and it's not the third time.
Yeah, it's getting it's getting close to double digits now.
It's ridiculous. Another game that had playoff implications, Vikings and Green Bay. Green Bay takes that 23-14. Green Bay now takes first place in the North, puts them in the 2nd seed behind Atlanta. And it drops the Vikings to 6-6. Now, everybody that on the bubble for the playoffs You have Washington at 6-6, Dallas at 6-6, Tampa Bay at 6-6, the Vikings at 6-6. So this playoffs is really getting interesting. And then like the only team that clinched was the Falcons. They clinched the division. That's the only team in the NFC that clinched so far. Then you go to the AFC, you got the Texans that clinched the playoff berth. You got the Patriots that clinched the division. You got Denver that clinched the division. So it just shows you NFC is so much closer.
Yeah.
And, so, and then if you look at the bubble on the AFC side, you got Cincinnati, who's really the only closest team.
I think they're gonna sneak in for one of those spots because they're playing really good football right now on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. So they got a big game against Dallas coming up. They're 7-5. Steelers are 7-5. Steelers have the last seed of the playoffs. So, but after Cincinnati, you got the Jets that are 5-7, who are having quarterback problems, which is ridiculous. Then you got Bills at 5-7, Miami at 5-7, and then it just goes.
Yeah, it just gets worse after that.
So I mean, it was a big game. Green Bay came out on top.
Yeah, I think Minnesota. If you look at Christian Ponder's stats on the game, it's really like it's pathetic. Having like 50 yards in a total game. Like if they didn't have Adrian Peterson doing what he does, I don't even know where this team would be right now. And
the game that Adrian Peterson had was ridiculous.
It's unbelievable what he's doing off an torn ACL injury.
He might, and I say might, he might get 2,000 yards rushing this year.
And you know what? I think he should be in the MVP talk because
that too. Yeah.
That shows the value of coming off a serious injury like that, and not even a year span, and doing what he's doing right now.
Right now, obviously, I think for MVP, I think it's obviously Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to the comeback player of the year, then you could really, put up Adrian Peterson and Peyton Manning, that it could be close.
And then, I feel if Peyton's going to get MVP, which is most likely going to happen,
if he can keep up what he's doing,
at least give Peterson comeback of the year.
Yeah. Then the game that really didn't mean anything because both teams didn't have it, but the one team was in the news all week. Was Kansas City Chiefs with the whole Javon Belcher incident, how he murdered his girlfriend, then went to the training facility and shot himself in front of Pioli and Crennel. And he leaves behind a 3-month-old, with no parents now. So it's a little, but I mean, it must have lit a fire under Kansas City. Yeah. Kansas City played probably their best game of the season.
Yeah, by far.
Brady Quinn played very well. They won 27-21. Carolina is just, miserable this year. But yeah, that was the big news.
Yeah, no,
happened Saturday.
I mean, I don't want to say I know everything about what happened and everything. All I know is he was on pain medication for some, a lot of pain that the football players have, but he was drinking heavily on it. So I mean,
they also said it could have something to do with concussions.
Yeah.
So now this is gonna,
this whole
be a whole thing. Yeah, this is gonna be a whole thing. They're gonna make the NFL more of a girl sport. But sad news. But Kansas City comes out with the W. Another game that had big implications was the 49ers and the Rams. 49ers really for everybody in the playoffs, obviously really needed,
if they could have got that
49ers to win.
Yeah, if the 49ers won, that would have helped them feel a lot better about that division.
Once again, the Rams take them into overtime and close to another tie game,
which
would have been ridiculous.
30 seconds.
And Rams kicked a field goal, won the game 16-13. But David Akers missing another field goal in overtime.
Yeah, I know that they brought kickers in already last week for tryouts. You thought that would send a message.
David Akers is one of the best kickers in the league, but I don't know.
Well, the same thing's happening in Green Bay too with Mason Crosby. I mean, he's missing how many field goals in the last 3-4 weeks?
But the Rams take that 16-13, puts them at 5-6-1. Then it puts 49ers 8-3-1. last game that we're going to get into was big division game, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore, took another bad injury.
Yeah, no.
With Terrell Suggs.
It's just one after another. It's just been that type of year for the Ravens.
And now, supposedly, they're getting Ray Lewis back. He's supposed to practice today, I think. So,
I wouldn't rush it, personally. I mean,
it
would have been helpful.
9-3.
Yeah, it would have been helpful if we won Sunday. Because then, definitely don't bring him back to the playoffs. But I still wouldn't rush him back until the playoffs.
And you know what? With the Steelers, the Steelers are 2 games behind them. But they still have Charlie Batch as their quarterback, which is a bad loss for Baltimore, obviously, because you're losing to a third string.
People don't understand. There's just something else about this game that
it's
more than just football.
It's always close games with.
Doesn't matter who's quarterback on whose team. It always comes down to defense, and Steelers' defense is just on fire this year. They're number 1 overall,
and Baltimore's just got too many injuries.
Yeah, but it's still the injuries on the defense. That's no excuse for Joe Flacco doing what he's been doing recently.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely terrible. I can't watch the games when he does what he does. He sits in the pocket for 10 years, gets sacked.
Yeah.
Or just makes the most ridiculous throw I've ever seen in my life. And I'm starting to question Flacco a lot more than I have been.
But yeah, Pittsburgh takes that 23-20. That puts them at 7-5. Now they got the last seed in the AFC. Ravens have the 3rd seed at 9-3. You got the Texans 1 at 11-1, Patriots 9-3, Ravens 9-3, Denver 9-3, and Colts 8-4.
Well, actually, the Ravens are technically the 2nd seed now because we beat the Patriots earlier in the year. So I guess that would give us the edge to the Ravens at the moment. But the Patriots just don't lose in the second half. That's the only problem.
I think this whole AFC is pretty much set.
Yeah,
the way it is.
Yeah, with the team, depending
on what Cincinnati does the rest of the way, and what the Steelers
there's a big game next Monday night. Houston plays New England.
Yes, that is a big game.
So that's a big game because New England can drop out from the 2nd seed to pretty much the 4 seed because the Broncos have a 3-loss 9-3 too.
So yeah, it's just pretty much finding your spot in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think. It's just going to come down to the Steelers and Cincinnati, and I think they play the last game of the season. So that's going to be a big game for that playoffs.
Week 16.
Yeah.
Because I know the Ravens finish with the Bengals.
So that's another big game,
too. Another big game, too.
So Cincinnati's got a tough schedule coming up.
Yeah, like you said, the Cowboys, the Steelers, and the Ravens.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, if something really, really drastic happens, maybe the Jets can get in. I don't see that happening. But then you look at the NFC. Now you got the Falcons number 1, 11-1.
Which I don't think anyone's worried about.
I don't even think anybody is going to be scared to play them in the playoffs.
And they shouldn't be with scoring 2 points in a home playoff game last year.
So I don't. Whatever. But then you got the 49ers, the 2nd seed. Then you got the Packers, the 3rd seed. The Giants, the 4th seed. Because they're winning the division.
Yeah, they're winning the division.
But that could
easily change in a couple of weeks.
Then you got the Bears 8-4, and the Seahawks 7-5. So
I think the Seahawks are going to creep up to that 5 wild card because
depending on what the Bears do,
I think the Bears are going to end up losing probably 3 out of 5 coming up. 3 out of 5, I would say, and the Seahawks, like we said, 4 games at home.
See now, any of the 6 and 6 teams pretty much have to win out.
Yeah.
To get into this playoffs, you should have 10 wins. So, Dallas has a tough schedule. Washington has a tough schedule. The Giants have a tough schedule, but all the teams that they're playing have, clinched some kind of thing or are out of it. Like you look at the Saints. Saints are going to have a tough time trying to get back into this playoff.
I think they're just playing spoiler at this point,
But still, the toughest spoiler you could play.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. So, especially in New Orleans.
Yeah, so the NFC should get interesting. But I want to get into what we were talking about before, what the best division in the league is. you can look at a few of them and say, I say the NFC North is up there, obviously. NFC South is really only got one or two good teams. The AFC East, one good team.
Yeah.
AFC West, the Chargers are terrible. Oakland's terrible. Kansas City's terrible. So you only got one good team out of that. NFC North you could put up there, but you also got the Lions who are having a very bad season.
Yeah.
The Vikings are so-so.
I think they just got off to a hot start, but they're coming down to reality now.
NFC South, you got the Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, and Carolina. Really, I mean, the Buccaneers are kind of a scrappy team, so you never know with them.
They're definitely tough, but
you got the Falcons
really
and Saints. Then I would put the NFC East up there. NFC West is all right. Really only two good teams.
Yeah.
So I would look at NFC East and the AFC North. Now you got the NFC East. You got the Giants who are,
defending
Super Bowl champions. You got the Cowboys that have the talent. They just haven't found
the right head coach.
Yeah, they haven't found the way to really use that talent. It looks like they're starting to.
Yeah, they're getting there.
So you never know with them.
The best thing they did was hire Rob Ryan.
Oh, definitely. Then you look at the Eagles. The Eagles have the talent. Michael Vick was one of the best quarterbacks last year.
They have one of the best running backs.
They got one of the best running backs.
One of the best wide receivers.
Ridiculous wide receiver between Deshaun Jackson.
Macklin.
You could put Macklin in there too.
Definitely.
Their defensive, you look at the defensive side, you would think, the $100 million guy, Nnamdi Asomugha would be good. He's not showing it the last 2 years. He's been really getting killed.
You don't know what it is because when he was in Oakland, he was so shut down. And then he comes to Philly and he's just struggled since he's gotten here.
They said with Nnamdi he played one side. That was it.
Yeah.
He did not move anywhere. He did not move with the best player. Whoever lined up on his side, that's who he guarded. So now you could look at it, and now if I was a team game planning for that, I would put my best wide receiver on the opposite side. So now, of course, you're not going to throw to his side with your number two.
That's why it looks good. Yeah.
So right now, he's just not fitting with the Eagles' defensive, game plan, and it's just showing because people are just killing him, and he cannot tackle whatsoever.
No, he can't.
He is not a good tackler. His main play is, jab you right off the line. And right now it's not working, so now it's pretty much all in his head.
Yeah.
So, it's just the Eagles have the talent. It's just going to be a debacle now because, Andy Reid's going to be gone. The whole coaching staff's going to be gone. They already got rid of their defensive line coach.
Yeah.
The Redskins, on the other hand, are on the up.
Yeah, definitely on the up. Probably the one team in that division definitely on the up right now.
So, you have three good teams, and then you could put the Eagles. Eagles, if they found a way, I think they would, all four teams are very hard to play.
Yeah. And I'll counter you that with
then you go to the AFC North.
Because we're talking about hard-nosed. All teams in that division
defensive.
defensive.
Yeah,
the Ravens aren't showing it this year, but over the years we obviously know what they've done.
Yeah.
But all those teams are defensive.
When
they play each other, it's ugly.
Scrappy offenses
close.
too.
Scrappy offenses with good running backs.
Yeah.
All teams have good running backs on those teams. The Browns are the best worst team in the league.
That's what I think
because
they've been in every game.
Like we talked about it last episode, but people just really don't give them credit for
not at all
being a good team because they actually really are going to be a good team in a couple of years. The Bengals, very young team with the quarterback Andy Dalton, AJ Green.
Yeah,
they're probably the best tackling team in defense. Geno Atkins, the best defensive tackle in football right now.
But I'm gonna come out and say it. NFC East is the best division in the league.
I don't think it is. I think the AFC North is better just because from top to bottom, Steelers, all the injuries, Ravens, all the injuries, yet Ravens still have 9 wins. The Steelers are still up there with their wins and injuries everywhere, offensive line, running backs, quarterbacks. Yeah. Troy Polamalu's missed 9 games already this year, yet they're still the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah.
And the Bengals, like I've just been saying, they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. They're the hottest team in football. Andy Dalton hasn't thrown a pick in 4 games. I mean, I see a lot out of this division.
Yeah.
Trent Richardson's doing good things in Cleveland with Brandon Whedon, who's a rookie quarterback. I think they're overall better.
See, my thing is I look at now. If you look at the NFC East, you look at the offenses. Romo.
That's what the difference between the two divisions, though, because the NFC East is offensive.
Yeah.
And the AFC North is obviously
I have to give
defense.
the Cowboys. The Cowboys' defense is playing very well this year.
The pass defense has been spectacular this year.
So I think they're top maybe 1 or 2 in pass defense. So, you look at it.
And if they didn't lose Sean Lee and Bruce Carter now, I mean, they would still...
And then their run stopper, Kenyon Coleman's out for the season. Their nickel back, Orlando Scandrick's out. Their starting safety out for the season. So they have their injuries.
Yeah, they've had their fair share too.
And the way they played on defense is pretty amazing. But I have my opinion. You have your opinion.
Exactly.
And then I feel like the big question this year is who's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I've had arguments saying Andrew Luck, blah blah blah. I think it's RG3. If you look at his numbers, he's 218 for 325. And he's got 2,600 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
That's the big one right there.
4 interceptions, and his passer rating is 104.4. Then you look at his legs, 6 rushing touchdowns, 714 rush yards. He's got the rookie rushing record.
Yeah.
But then you look at Andrew Luck, 279 for 503. 3,500 yards, close to 3,600 yards. His touchdowns are the same, 17. But then you look at his interceptions, 16, compared to RG3's 4. And his passer rating, 76.1. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns, 216 yards rushing. But he's got an 8-4 record in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I can see why you would pick RG3, but I just think it's Andrew Luck for reasons that aren't even football, with the head coach, with the Chuck Strong thing, everything going on with that. And Andrew Luck just has so much around him, and he's always had this, when he was at Stanford too, he just had that aura of that greatness aura. And I just think people they've fallen in love with Andrew Luck through the course of this year with all the comeback wins in the fourth quarter. I believe they have 4 fourth quarter comeback wins already. And I think his interceptions are a lot higher because he throws a lot more than RG3. RG3 has Alfred Morris that he can hand off to.
He's got 200 more passing.
Yeah, exactly. RG3 always he has the 15 for 22 type game, stuff like that. So I think they rely on Andrew Luck to throw a lot more, so he's going to have a lot more interceptions naturally.
You can also put Trent Richardson in there. I think he's still number 3 to these guys.
Yeah.
But if you look at his numbers are good for a rookie running back and for the team that he's on.
Yeah, any other year, he would be getting a lot more attention.
Oh, yeah.
But just with these 2 quarterbacks and all the hype that's been around them for a year, 2 years now, it's just not going to happen for him because quarterbacks just have that different feeling. They always have. They always get the MVP votes, all those awards. They always get them. So it's a quarterback league.
So, I mean, I can see if RG3 doesn't make the playoffs, I could see them picking Andrew Luck because he's 8-4.
Yeah.
But if he does make the playoffs, I think it's a big question, and I think RG3 is still going to win.
I just think people with the 1-2 win Colts last year, and how much with the whole Peyton Manning thing, and I think Peyton's pretty much going to get him the Rookie of the Year because him leaving. They were so bad. What are they going to do? And Andrew Luck completely turned the team around in 1 year. And
Reggie Wayne's rejuvenated with a quarterback
I believe he's
now.
The best wide receiver in the league currently right now.
I mean, it's a big question, but you have your opinion. I have my opinion.
It's going to be interesting. So
we'll go to the now the big question now is Mike Vick. They already named Nick Foles
the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year. So he's obviously gone next year. So he's a quarterback that can go to a team. They already named Mark Sanchez a quarterback this this week coming up. So you don't know if he's going to be gone. I doubt he's going to be gone, but I can definitely say Tebow is going to be gone. Yeah. I obviously think that
experiment completely failed. It completely shows that it was all publicity with the Jets going after him. They had no intentions of playing him because he was, before the broken ribs, he was healthy every game. Yeah. And they never played him. So it just shows that they did it because the Giants won the Super Bowl. They wanted headlines before the season started. And
it wasn't, and you could tell it wasn't Rex Ryan's idea.
Because he doesn't play him.
He doesn't play him.
Yeah.
So, but another quarterback that is probably going to be gone or is going to want to be gone is Alex Smith, which these guys are good quarterbacks. They could find a team.
Yeah.
I mean, like Kansas City.
They're already saying Alex Smith is probably going to Arizona.
Arizona needs a quarterback. Kansas City needs a quarterback.
That would be a good fit too, Kansas City. For Alex
Kansas
Smith,
City has
they have a
very good team.
Exactly. They have the run game. So they have Dwayne Bowe they can throw to, but just keep it. All he would have to do is just keep it short like he always does, and just hand it off to Charles.
Exactly.
But we'll see what happens.
But these are the quarterbacks that are probably going to be on the market next year, and the teams that are going to be looking for a quarterback.
I don't know if anyone
should go after it.
I don't know if anyone would go after Vic with everything, with all the concussions and the rib injuries, and
now the Eagles' front line is pretty bad. If he could find a line, I think he showed what he did last year. So
I just something's weird with Philly. Like it seems like people go there and like it's not their scheme.
Yeah,
like, Vic doesn't look comfortable playing offense for Philly.
Yeah, and another guy that's going to be on the market is Andy Reid, which is
he'll get hired right away.
Oh, right away.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting this offseason. What happens? A lot of moves are going to happen.
Yeah, a lot. It's going to be a lot of coaching,
whether it be coaching or players. But we'll get into a couple of moves on the MLB side. Nationals signed Danny Herron for 1 year, $13 million.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, but it's a good.
He's proven. He's been proven over the years.
Especially in the NL, he's a good pitcher to add to Gio Gonzalez, Strasburg. That's a good pick. That's a good pickup, I think. Then you got the Red Sox landing Victorino and Napoli. Now they both got 3 years, $39 million, same contract.
Yeah.
Think they overpaid them.
Yeah, I would say.
I don't think they're good. They're good. Victorino's very good center fielder.
He's getting old now though.
Napoli, very good hitter, but his catching's kind of suspect. Yeah. He's all right.
Where did they say they're putting Victorino? There's no way you can play center out there.
Well, now they're talking about they're looking for trades for Ellsbury.
Wow.
So he could be.
I like Ellsbury.
I like Ellsbury too. Very good player. Scrappy.
I don't think that's the right move on their part. They're going with an older guy who's going to be out soon.
Yeah. So then you look at the Rangers landing Joaquin Soria, 2 years, $8 million. Good pickup. I thought the Yankees might have gone for him.
Yeah.
So he came out and said that he would like to set up for Mariano.
And for only $8 million.
Yeah,
you figured
it's $4 million a year.
Yeah.
It's a good pickup for the Rangers. Now the big question going around now is Youkilis maybe going to the Yankees.
I also heard
A-Rod is hurt.
Yeah, I heard this morning though that he's also looking at the Indians because his old coach Terry Francona is the new manager for the Indians.
That's true too.
That could spark something up for them.
Definitely. The Yankees are also looking they're looking to trade Granderson. I honestly think it's a good.
I think it is a good move too because you might as well see what you can get for him because, I mean, you have outfielders.
He's a free agent next year.
Yeah, he's gonna want big money next year anyway. You still got Ichiro for you can enjoy the couple of years that you have Ichiro. You got Brett Gardner in the outfield still, so they have outfielders.
Yunel Escobar was traded to the Rays. San Francisco re-signed Marco Scudero 3 years, $20 million. But now, with all these moves with the Yankees, it's kind of looking like the Yankees may go after Josh Hamilton. Like, Josh Hamilton has Yankees written all over him, I believe. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a bad idea. I think he wants way too much money.
It's gonna be he wants a lot of money
for what he did last year towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he didn't even look like he was trying.
Yeah, he fell
towards
apart
the end of the year.
So I don't know if it's a good idea. If the Yankees get him, obviously,
he'll hit his 40 home runs.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be pretty ridiculous in that stadium.
Yeah,
but
lefty in that stadium.
But another thing, like the Yankees, like they're going all old guys. I mean, Josh Hamilton's not that old, but I'm talking about they're talking about bringing back Eric Chavez, who had a very good year for the Yankees, but I don't think he's an everyday third baseman.
Yeah, no, he can't be.
They definitely need a third baseman. I think Youkilis would definitely
be a nice fit.
Yeah, pretty well. So it's up to what Cashman thinks. The Yankees, I believe, are on the downfall. I mean, depending on what Pineda does, you don't know what you're going to get from him. You don't even know if he's going to start the season because of the injury that he has. Then you don't know what you're going to get from Pettit. He's still, he's getting up there in age.
They're not replacing the key positions that are getting older, like third base, like shortstop.
Yeah. And you don't know right now. You look at A-Rod being hurt now. You don't know when he's going to be back. They said maybe June.
They don't have a catcher right now.
They don't have a catcher. They don't even know if Jeter is going to be back for the beginning of the season. So you're missing a catcher, which they were looking at A.J. Przinsky. You're missing third baseman. I would like to see them go for Youkilis.
Yeah, potential missing a shortstop.
And then you got shortstop, and you don't know.
Shortstop 38, 39 coming off of ankle surgery.
Both of them, A-Rod and Jeter. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the Yankees do, because they got a big splash in the
making always.
Exactly.
But I think shipping Granderson is probably the best thing. If they can
get maybe a pitcher.
Like a pitcher, like minor league good infielders, that can maybe fill one of those positions that are hurt, like third base right now.
Definitely. So it should be interesting. Now we could go to the news in the NBA. The Hornets are expected to change their name next year to the New Orleans Pelicans. You cannot
you can't make this up. You really cannot
get more like.
What are they going
soft,
pink?
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't know what color they're gonna go for. I mean, I can see them going for that lime green kind of pink, kind of thing, that they already have, just adding the pink to it. But the Pelicans, that's like going and say, the Lakers are playing the Pelicans.
Yeah, how would you feel if you're Anthony Davis right now, or even say next year? Because say they're like a lottery team next year. Yeah. How would you feel that your name gets called going to the New Orleans Pelicans?
Wow, I just got drafted number 1 to the Pelicans.
That would make me not want to play basketball.
It's just I don't know what kind of meeting they had for that.
Those players cannot want to win for that team anymore.
It's just, I mean, out of all the names that you could come up with,
there's so many animals in the whole world, and they go Pelicans.
You come up with the Pelicans. I mean, that just screams soft team.
Yeah,
soft team. So it's I don't know, but you look at the Lakers. The Lakers lost again last night. Dwight Howard, 50% from the free throw line again.
What do you know?
He's already missed more than 100.
Oh my God.
Free throws this year. And now teams are just bringing up the hack a Howard.
Yeah.
Like they used to do with Shaq. It was the hack of Shaq. Now it's the hack of Howard.
They need to do something.
It's
not fun for the fans to sit there and watch the same guy on the free throw line.
And now you still don't have Nash. They're waiting for him. They said now another week till he comes back. They don't have their backup point guard, Steve Blake.
Yeah.
So now you got Kobe playing the point. He's doing what he has to do.
Definitely.
He scored 39 last night. They lost by 2. They had a lead going into the fourth quarter, I think, with 5 minutes left. So it's just
I think it's just a time thing with the Lakers.
Yeah, definitely. But
they're not
it's just
they're not going to be like the Eagles, all the time, not be able to do anything.
Yeah.
They're going to get hot. Kobe's not going to let them not be a good team.
Now look at the Heat when they first started. They had around the same record.
Exactly.
So, and they made it to the championship that year.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen.
it's all the time thing. Kobe is he's gonna keep that team together.
Yeah.
And towards the playoffs, they're gonna be fine.
The Knicks are still hot. I don't know how long this lasts. Maybe till Amari Stoudemire gets back.
That's what it's gonna slow down when Amari gets back.
Yeah. So I still think the Nets. I still think the Nets are a better team.
I do too. I still think they'll go further in the playoffs.
They just put their team together, so give them a little time.
Exactly.
But I think I just feel like the Knicks shooting is gonna go down soon.
So that's how it seems like they've been winning. And like you can't shoot.
And that
and
everybody says,
season.
"Oh well, Amari Stoudemire came out and said that he would be fine coming off the bench."
Yeah,
but still, he's still going to be on the same court as Carmelo. No matter what, if he comes off the bench anyway, he's still going to be.
Yeah, Carmelo will be out there.
Exactly. So it just kind of defeats the purpose because you're still looking at two guys that need the ball, that need to hold on to the ball.
And you can tell they're sticking with Melo.
Yeah, definitely. So
I just don't know what they're going to be able to do with Amari. The $100 million contract, all the injuries, all the time. I don't know what they would even be able to get for him.
Yeah. But the NBA season is going to be interesting, like we said last week. But that's about it for this show. Remember to go like our Facebook page and like us on Twitter, Tom and Jerry Sports. That's about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Stay tuned. We're bringing on another show on Friday, so look out for that on our
Football
Facebook
Friday.
page.
Football Friday will be up. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Tom.
Be breezy. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Tom and Jerry Show.